Hello, thank you for joining me on this edition of What's in My Mouth. And I want to touch base a little bit and explain why maybe you should even care what's in my mouth. Honestly, who am I? So my name is Joel Messier. I'm a certified sommelier with the Court of Masters, currently on track to complete the Wine and Spirits Education Trust Diploma Program, which has been an exciting kind of an accomplishment over the last couple of years. So I've had the pleasure of studying wine and spirits and beer for quite a long time. And I have an opportunity now to share some of what I've learned, some of my impressions with those of you who like wine and want to learn more and want to be able to talk about what they like so they can find the right bottle. That's really what it comes down to, is for us to be able to communicate in such a way that allows us to find the right bottle of wine for all of us, whether it's $8 or $85. It really doesn't matter as long as we love it and we're able to talk about it. So we're going to talk about a cab that I'm sort of excited about. It's a really well-made cab out of California. In this case, it's the Alexander Valley. This is from the Alexander Valley, and it's a single vineyard cab, the Diamond Dust Vineyard, which is a well-respected vineyard in Alexander Valley. Alexander Valley, I think if were it to be compared to Napa Valley, it's somewhat cooler than a lot of the areas of Napa Valley, especially those to the north of Rutherford. But it gets a lot of heat. So the way it happens is during the day, Alexander Valley will get nice and hot. Helps Cabernet grapes ripen beautifully, which is really important for Cabernet. Otherwise, if it's not hot enough, you end up with kind of vegetal green bell pepper aromas, which may not be the goal of the winemaker. But then later in the day, the Russian River is going to bring a lot of cool air and fog overnight. So you have some cool air brought in by the Russian River. It's going to help slow the ripening to aid the generation of complex flavors beyond simple fruit, which we'll talk about shortly. And then you also have morning mist. As morning mist is important, this is a factor closer to San Pablo Bay as well. But major bodies of water can contribute to the creation of morning mists, which help to slow ripening again and help just to develop that really nice complex flavor. So it's difficult to generalize the differences in styles, right? It's very, very risky for me to do that. But in my experience, Napa Valley, sort of the expectation, are very fruit-forward wines, and that's certainly the case. Oftentimes with Napa Valley wines, you get a strong core of oak influence, so a pretty prominent vanilla spice character. You can get some of that too with Alexander Valley, no doubt. I would suggest that fruitiness would be a little bit more downplayed for some maybe earthy, maybe bell pepper flavors, ripe or bell pepper jam, some cedary notes, maybe some cocoa, coffee, those types of things. And I think it adds complexity. And also from that morning mist, you end up with acid retention, right? The ability to retain tart, refreshing characteristics really does matter. And it makes a wine far less cloying, much better with food, and much more refreshing. So this is the Trig Point Cab. Currently it's a 2018 vintage, is the one that we're offering. And it's very pretty, it's got beautiful depth of color, really welcoming aroma. I would say, the berries you kind of expect, plum as well, blackberry. You do get a hint of ripe bell pepper. And what I love here is that you have really good structure. And just to explain structure, we're talking about, in part, that drying sensation, which is tannin. So that drying sensation on your palate is the tannin of a wine, and that's one component of structure. Another is the body, right? This wine has enough richness to hold up to the amount of tannin it has. And then the acidity. So if you were tasting this with me, you would find yourself salivating after tasting it. And those three components sort of constitute the structure. So that's one of the ways we rate the quality of a wine. When we're considering the quality of a wine, we want to consider, are all of the elements of structure, acid, body, tannins, in balance? Do they complement each other? And then are they again in balance with the intensity of flavors? And I think they are here. So it's an outstanding and fairly affordable bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon, which can be tricky to find nowadays from California. California cabs have gotten very expensive. So thank you once again for joining me. You can always reach out with questions or find me at the store if you'd like recommendations. Thank you.